Bum, 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 bum. Yeah! As soon as my son gets up, it's his time. And as soon as I get to work, it's everybody else's time.
So during my freshman year of college, I learned about Teach for America. I was so drawn to their vision.
My father was a police officer, my mom was a nurse, my brother and sister are both educators. So in my family, there's a very real understanding of what your role in this world is.
So I taught here for a couple years. I felt most drawn to the students that I felt like I could help the least. Those were the students that were swearing at me in the middle class, and they were walking out of my class. I didn't know what to do. So what I did was say to all of my students, I'm here after school every day. I'm gonna be here. I have snacks in my drawer. I know y'all are hungry, I'm hungry. Come on in, we'll have snacks. I'll teach science, or we can just spend some time together. That one-on-one time with them is when I realized what they needed was connection.
I was a McGuire Woods e-discovery staff attorney. I met brilliant people and I learned so much. But I realized I needed to make a change and reassess what's important to me. And I've worked with kids my whole life. As soon as work ended, I was at sports camp. There's still a good section of Charlotte that knows me as Coach Dan. God, one of the kids that calls me Coach Dan is in her freshman year of college. That blows my mind. And she's taller than me. That's just hurtful.
So within 2 minutes of talking to Dan, you realize you love him. He's diligent and he's thorough and he's always well prepared. We needed somebody like Dan who could come in able to do the job well and to continue on with my client's educational advocacy.
I was hired to fill in for Stephanie when she went on maternity leave. So my first 2 months on this job, I was her shadow. She's one of the most radically competent people I've ever worked with.
He's so passionate about this work. It's clear that this is what he wants to do. He feels it in his bones.
Working alongside somebody that prepared and that knowledgeable is daunting.
He doesn't just care about the kids, he cares about building a better team.
It's a beautiful thing to work with folks that want to do the work they're doing. We all complain. There's things to complain about. Things are gonna get heavy. That's life. But at the end of the day, you're like, I'm still doing this wonderful thing.
And this team, we're fighting for kids in foster care. We're trying to make sure that our kids are getting what they need, but we're also working with a lot of people who have their own challenges as well.
Reading through these children's histories can be gut-wrenching. My first month and a half here, I was just wading into trauma. Because for a lot of the kids, they may not understand or appreciate what we're doing. They have this big team of adults, and it can be a revolving door sometimes. They don't see a value in talking to me, because for them, in 6 months, I might not be there.
Our foster parents are doing a lot with very limited resources, and we're also working with family members who've gone through their own stress.
So the immediate value of what I'm bringing to their table is not always apparent. What does it mean for them? It means they have access to their full educational rights.
I think about the way that my family took care of each other. They poured so much of themselves into me.
So the goal is to make sure their rights are fulfilled, but to do so in a way that doesn't harm those other relationships that are necessary to their future.
All children should have that, and that's what we're here trying to do.
A future and a present means providing them enough stability to begin to cope with their past. It means the world to them. They just don't know it. We find them an educational path that speaks to them and will enable them to engage the world on their own terms in the way they are able to.
I love to connect with people and I want to have an impact, and that's what I try to do every day.
I'm working with a second grader now, and ideally I will work with this child through her senior year. That's a long time, so we all have to play the long game.
This work is not easy, but there's nothing else I'd rather do.
This is the only job I could do. I just don't see myself anywhere else. Here, I'm smarter and better every day because of the people I work with.